Hey guys, and welcome to episode 6 of our Road to Glory, and boy do I have an episode for you guys here today. We get 2 ones to watches and a 200 plus 1,000 coined player. I'm not gonna tell you who, I'm not gonna ruin it, but yeah, you guys are in for a treat this episode. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna show you guys on the screen right here is just going through the old transfers. We managed to sell a bunch of our players, Donnarumma, all the Schulz, which actually sold for 13k. And we bought them initially at around 8 to 9k, and you know, like I said, I was pretty sure this was going to be a player that was going to be quite popular, and he sold for about 13k practically 3 hours after Ones to Watch dropped. We expected that initial drop because everybody's just panic selling to get as many packs in and all that, but after a while, like the players with the decent meta and all that will naturally just, you know, appreciate again in value. So here we open a Ones to Watch pack, and we get Hakimi. Yeah, not exactly who I was wanting in the pack, but you know, it's actually not too bad, and I'm going to tell you why. In my opinion, out of all the players from the starting team, there's only a few that will likely get upgrades, and this is just based off performances I've seen last year, based off the team they're playing in and all that. For instance, players that I would have liked, obviously Werner, the other Moroccan instead, Ziyech, playing for Chelsea and all that, but I don't know. Chelsea, I feel like it's such a hit and miss team. Not really consistent, and out of the games I've seen so far, Werner is being played out wide, which I don't really like. He's more of a, you know, straight up striker, but then you have somebody like Tammy Abraham who's probably wanting to keep that role. And then Havertz is somebody I really want, but unfortunately he's not in the first team. Other than that, you have Martin Odegaard, which I don't necessarily think will get a lot of upgrades, potentially due to playing time, because I know Zidane likes a lot, like, you know, reputation, and like he likes using experienced players a lot, especially in his midfield, and unless they really prove themselves like Valverde did, it's going to be really tough for him to break that starting 11. And then further on, who else is there? Alex Telles would have been somebody I really liked. I think Man U's going to have a potentially decent season. I think they're like slacking right now, and the fact that they're making, you know, big money moves and all that, I think it will readjust the ship, and honestly I think they could have decent, maybe not necessarily a decent ranking, but decent games, and therefore like decent upgrades in that sense. When I mean they're having decent seasons, I mean in the FIFA sense, obviously. So yeah, so that's just my opinion. I think Hakimi personally is playing in a team that's very vibrant and like really top of the charts right now, especially with the Antonio Conte revolution. So I think he's gonna potentially get a lot of playtime because Antonio Conte really likes him, and honestly I think it's a fun league to watch, so I wouldn't mind just watching and, you know, potentially cheering on for Inter Milan. This brings me on to the next point. I also have Tonali. So you guys see, I'm going to go for a complete squad change from my French league to essentially the Serie A. It wasn't really my, I guess, desire at the start, but now that we've gotten like Hakimi, we've got a lot of these other players, it's kind of hard to. So here we get a gold pack, and we just get, I believe, Edin Dzeko? Nope, Angelino. Edin Dzeko comes in later. But yeah, so this is just one of the objective packs from the Diogo Jota SBC, and one of the, I think, the foundation ones. But yeah, so we also did an SBC, the Thiago Silva SBC. Now you're going to probably say, he's so slow, he's short, why would you use him? First of all, this man's a legend of PSG, so I had to. And for the price, you know, 15k plus some tradables, it was around, I think, 6 or 7k for me, thanks to that Koke we packed. But if you think about it, playability, currently, it's going to be quite tough. It's going to be quite tough to use him in any, I guess, decent squad, especially for weekend league or division rivals. But if you think about it in the future, I think Chelsea need that hard rock at the back, and I think he might, you know, just be that man. So I think we could see a couple upgrades for him, and he'll be quite usable, I think, if he breaks maybe 2 to 3 informs, but then again, that's very hopeful. Here is the Edin Dzeko pack, yep, with the new unlicensed Roma logo, which I don't know if I like it. Doesn't feel like a football club's brand, you know? Maybe it's just me. But yeah, okay, so we claimed this reward objective pack. This was for playing with the Liga NOS players, and yeah, I'm just gonna let the rest of this clip play out. And I'm just gonna say this caught me off guard. This was around, I think, 3 or 4 a.m. I'm like, yeah, let me just hit record and complete a couple of these SBC challenges. Not SBC, but Ones to Watch objectives. Yeah, and I don't know. I guess I'll let you guys see what happens. But this specific challenge, the Liga NOS one, was so tough. I had no Liga NOS, like, decent, I guess, attacking midfielders or even strikers or wingers. So I had to use a CDM as strikers. Oh my god, even though we played in professional against these, like, 85 rated squads, it was tough trying to square the ball across to him, a guy who can't even, like, you know, hit it on target within the box. It was tough. But oh well, so yep, this, the 2-player pack, like the rare one that we pulled, what, Dzeko and all that, was decent. It's a decent pack. But here, a normal 5k pack, and look what we pulled. At this point, I'm like, you know, I haven't had a walkout before. I see the broken line, I'm like, oh my god, no way this is happening, no way this is happening. French. Center mid, Manchester United, we packed ourselves Paul Pogba, the beast in FIFA. Literally, if not after Kante, one of the best holding midfielders essentially in FIFA. He's always been super consistent, super strong in midfield, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. Out of a 5k pack, yes, he's untradeable, but you bet he's going straight into my squad. So this is why we go into a second squad revolution, and then we change it up to a mix of Serie A and Prem. So yeah, this whole episode was essentially just, I don't know, a roller coaster of emotion, from like crying about half of my players not selling on the transfer market at the very start, to diving into SBCs, to packing Hakimi, which is, I guess it's a decent super sub, which is exactly what we use it for. But oh my god, trying to put a team together was tough, because I really enjoyed Douglas Costa and Mahrez. For me, I wanted them to be the core of my team, but at the same time, I think they're both decent investments. Mahrez for being, like, you know, a pretty usable player in the Prem, and Douglas Costa for having essentially this Juventus card is, like, you know, limited now since he's gone to Bayern on loan, I believe. Yeah, I don't know what Bayern's doing. They literally have 3 left mids, but you know, oh well, Bayern, you know, whatever works for you guys. But yeah, so trying to build this squad was tough. I'm like, do I play a 4-3-3? I got 2 wingers, but then who do I link? Because I really wanted to use Tonali as well. I've used him a couple times as a super sub, and I honestly really enjoyed him. And personally, I am not a fan in real life of Adrien Rabiot because of everything he's done with PSG and like the whole entire scene with the contract dispute. So I was like, do I want to use this guy? Not really, but you know, I was trying to really get the chemistry going, and it was quite tough. So all the players we just bought, Rodri, Lukaku, all that, you know, we had to list them. Canales was somebody I bought for the SBC for Thiago Silva, but I actually made a mistake. I had enough in my club, so well, we just had to relist him. So everything here you're gonna see, I'm listing a lot of my players for about 50% above market price, and you'll see why. Throughout the whole episodes, I didn't show you guys, but I was relisting everything for an hour mark, and you have a lot of lazy buyers, especially at the start of the game. So like a lot of my Draxlers, a lot of my Ferran Torreses, a lot of my Ollie Watkins, which are like essentially right now would be around 1.2, 1.1 in the market, sold for about 1.8 to 2k, simply because lazy buyers will always just snipe whatever's on the first page. And you know what, I'm not complaining, it's easy money. That's why, you know, even though you might not necessarily get your coins instantly, just keep relisting them, you know? Keep relisting them, and I bet you somebody's gonna bite. It's like fishing, you can't just expect to catch a fish every time you cast, right? Like, you know, it's gonna happen. So yeah, so trying to build this squad was a pain. I really want to try get Theo Hernandez, yes, Lucas Hernandez plays for Real Sociedad, I believe. So Theo Hernandez into the squad because he's an absolute unit. Every time he's played against me, he's literally impossible to defend. So trying to find a Brazilian striker to link everything up in a 4-3-3 was not working. It just wasn't working. It wasn't paying off. Richarlison I could have potentially invested in, but I'm like, this guy's also kind of expensive, and I feel like he might get a drop in value, being 81 rated and now having another Evertonian player in the SBC. This brings me to my next point, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I was looking at the card, I was looking at a bunch of reviews, I'm getting a lot of hit and miss feelings. People are saying he's going to be a decent finisher with the new crossing meta, and some others are just saying he's absolutely overpriced, which I personally agree. Based off FIFA, the previous FIFA we had, Lucas Player of the Month, and Timo, what's Pookie's first name? Anyways, Pookie from Norwich. And those were like, 15, 20, 30k cards? Like, what are you doing, EA? Why are you throwing in an 80k SBC? Like, come on, guys. Not all of us are made of gold. But yeah, so I'm not necessarily going to go for him. I think he's going to be a decent player, but it's just overpriced. So we switched to a 4-4-2. Back to a couple episodes ago, the formation that we're playing really well in, the one that we revolutionized with Gelson Martins and Simon and Jonathan David and Keita Balde up front. The formation I really enjoy playing, but then this is the problem. I need a strong link to Pogba if I want full camp. There's one player I really, really want. It's a perfect link. Anthony Martial, but he's also like 300, 400k or something. Like, he's really good. He's one of the best strikers. So instead, we go for Caputo, a player that's, I guess, a little under the radar, who actually just got his first international cap and scored, I guess, a double, I think? Who was it against? I don't remember who, but in his international duty, so happy for him. But he's got a decent looking card, especially, I think, for the start. It's also a first, second week in form, so it could always go up in the future. So I think it's a decent investment at the same time as a usable player, which you'll see it's quite like a trendy thing I like to do. Invest in players that are really good, but also good investments. Here we buy Romagnoli, same thing. I think it's a really good investment at the same time because it's an 83 rated defender with decent pace, decent defending, and it's a perfect link to Tonali. So honestly, win-win. Here we decided to sell Diallo because I was going to keep Kimpembe and I wanted to play Navas because Navas was really good for us. And I got to bring back my favorite player so far in this game, one of my favorite players, Youssef Attal at right back. And I think that Attal Mahrez link on one side and that Theo Hernandez and Douglas Costa is just going to be killer. But yeah, so this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this crazy episode and I'm going to look forward to playing with this team. Everybody stay safe. Hope everybody's doing well. Make sure you take care of your families and your friends. Make sure you catch up with everybody. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.